What are the most common mistakes I see when someone's buying their first camera? Hey, what's up you guys? Nick here. For those of you new to my channel, my name is Nick. I'm a professional photographer. I've been a professional photographer for about 4 years now, though I've had a camera in my hands for the last 17 as a hobbyist. Now, there are a lot of mistakes I see when people are going to buy their first camera. And I want to talk about the 5 biggest mistakes that I always see when someone goes out looking for their first camera or even upgrade from their first camera to their second camera. These are all really common mistakes that I see quite often. So at number 5, and this one is a consensus among many photographers that I spoke to while getting this video ready, and that is thinking you need the best gear there is, or the most expensive gear there is. Now, you're just getting into a new hobby, and how many of us have gotten into a hobby, spent way too much money, and we didn't do anything with it after just a couple weeks? Now, I think that is something that I have suffered from as well. As you can see, I've got a drone up there. That was probably my 4th or 5th drone. I started a really cheap $20 one. Now, if you've seen many of my videos, you know that I do a lot of discussion and a lot of reviews of older cameras, specifically on the used market. And even those older cameras were relatively cheap when they first came out. Such as the Nikon D5100 and the D5300, those were both relatively cheaply priced when they first came out. Now, if you're a new photographer and you're trying to figure out how much you want to spend on your first camera, think about it this way. You can always buy a cheaper entry-level camera, such as any of the Canon EOS Rebels that have just come out, or the Nikon D3000 series cameras, which I believe they're at the D3500 right now, and from everything I've read, that is a really great beginner's camera. So I would definitely check it out and figure out exactly how much you need to spend. You don't need the latest and greatest, and you definitely don't need the most expensive there is out there. So let's jump to number 4. Now, number 4 is a really important one, and that is when you're talking about your budget. A lot of people say, I have $500–600 for my budget, and usually they're budgeting for everything. That's not body, and then a little extra for lenses. Generally, when you say that, it means you are budgeting $500 to get into photography. Now, a lot of things are overlooked when you have your budget. The body costs an X amount of money. Lenses cost X amount of money. SD cards, extra batteries, a camera bag, a tripod, all those essentials you need as a beginner photographer, which I will link my video about that up there. Now, those are all essentials that you need when you want to get into photography, specifically a bag, SD cards, and lenses. Now, I know a lot of those Amazon bundle kits, you can get the body and a couple lenses and all of these little knickknacks for the low price of $470. Generally, that stuff is thrown in there as cheap crap that you're not going to want to use, like, at all. The cleaning brushes lose their hairs. The lint-free lens wipes aren't actually lint-free. The little air poppy thing for blowing air through your lenses and stuff, they break down, or they're made of really cheap rubber, or at times they smell really bad, which is kind of a weird one. The SD cards are slow. They're cheaper ones. They will fail on you, and they might fail relatively quickly, including when you're opening that box. So number 4 is definitely know your budget and budget for all the necessities when you first get started. Now, number 3 is to stay away from the bundles on Amazon. I cannot stress this enough. Like I was saying in number 4, the bundles on Amazon are absolutely terrible. I would not ever buy one of the bundles off of Amazon. A lot of the things you're going to get with that are going to be cheap. They're going to be terrible, and you're not going to use them once you start taking photography a little more seriously. Now, if you're not looking to take photography super seriously, you just kind of want to have a camera to take pictures of your pets or your kids or on vacation, those bundles aren't too big of a deal. But if you're looking to take it a lot more seriously than that, I definitely recommend do not buy the Amazon bundles. You're going to pay extra for cheaper stuff when piecing it together can generally be cheaper, and if it's not cheaper, you'll get higher quality equipment with your camera. So number 2 is going to be discounting used cameras. A lot of what I see with beginner photographers is they are looking for the newest, and this kind of goes back to number 5 with the best. You don't necessarily need the newest equipment to take great photos. I have an entire series of videos based on cameras that are over 10 years old that take wonderful pictures. I'm going to link the video on the oldest of those cameras right there. That is my Nikon D70 portrait video, and I will link the rest of those down in the description under a little tabby that says used camera portrait reviews. Just make sure you guys go check those out if you doubt me. But the used market is absolutely amazing. Facebook Marketplace is a little more expensive because people think that they have like gold or something. I don't really understand it, but eBay is probably your best friend when it comes to looking for used cameras. You could pick up a Nikon D5300, which is a 24 megapixel camera, which takes shots like this one for the low price of $250. That leaves you with $250 for lenses. Now, lenses are what make a photo good. You want to purchase the glass more than you got to worry about the camera. Check out the used market. Don't think that you have to have new in order to get started in photography. And a lot of the times those eBay bundles come with a camera, batteries, a couple lenses, and a bag, and generally they're a little more high quality than those crappy Amazon bundles that we talked about in number 3. So number 1, my most important rule when it comes to buying a new camera: rent it. If you can, go to a camera store even, or go to your Best Buy, or go to wherever you plan on buying your camera, and see if you can play around with a display model. You want to pick a camera that is going to give you the very best ergonomics for you. So I definitely recommend going out and trying out a bunch of different cameras. Which menu works best for you? Which ergonomics fits best with you? Which camera sits in your hand the very best? Something that you can go out and use all the time, and it's not going to be a pain to use. Because if it's a pain to use, you're not going to want to use it. And the other side of that too is, basically at this point in time, other than Fuji, all cameras take really good photos. I'm going to put up a side-by-side comparison right now between my Nikon D5100, which is about 10 years old, and a Canon Rebel EOS T3, which is also about 10 years old. And as you can see, the two photos are very clear, very beautiful. They're very great photos. You can't see a lot of difference. I could have told you that the one on the right was actually the Nikon and the one on the left was actually the Canon. You wouldn't really be able to tell the difference unless you actually dug through the metadata, which no one actually really cares about that. So really, brand doesn't matter all that much, except Canon lenses are generally cheaper than Nikon lenses. And my experience is Canon is more user-friendly, which is funny because of all the Nikons I have. But what I'm getting at is go rent a camera. Go play around with the camera if you can, even if it's just in the store. Figure out which menu fits you best, which camera fits best in your hands, what would be the most comfortable for you to go out and shoot with. I don't know if you guys were expecting this little tidbit to be thrown in, but at 1,000 subscribers, I am giving away a Nikon N80, or an F80 for my European friends, 35mm film camera. And so we're right in the middle of filming this whole video on buying your first camera, but I wanted to throw that out there that if you are a film enthusiast, let me know down in the comments below. We are getting close to 1,000 subscribers, and I kind of got to figure out who is really into film cameras so I know who's going to appreciate the gift of a Nikon F80 or N80, depending on where you are in the country. So those are the 5 biggest mistakes I see when you go out to buy your first camera, thinking that you need the newest and the best, not including necessities in your budget, buying the Amazon bundles, discounting the used market, and finally, not going out and trying the cameras and just going off of specs. You want to go out, you want to try the camera, you want to find something in your budget where you can get the gear you need to go with that camera, because batteries aren't always included. So I want to thank you guys all again for joining me. I hope you like the new display. I invested a lot of money in the channel in the recent months because I wanted to bring you guys the best content possible. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you guys know right when I upload. I upload one of these longer format videos at least once a week, and then I usually throw up 2 to 3 shorts a week as well. We are going to have some shorts this week. Actually, you probably already saw the studio tour short. But we also have a short where I am unboxing some of the new gear we got for this channel so that I can take you guys on the grand adventure of photography. Thank you guys again so much, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Bye!